have you. New York Police Commissioner Eddie Cabin said this about how sophisticated migrant criminal rings are. He called them ghost criminals.
Today we're seeing similar situations with migrants. They're essentially ghost criminals. No criminal history, no photos, no cell phone, no social media. Sometimes we're even unclear on a name or a date of birth. And on top of that, these operations are extremely sophisticated. They intentionally try to evade the police.
This is exactly the dystopic scenario of Gotham City. I don't know.
Hey, Shalom, praises Yahweh Shai Bashem Rakak. And of course, I want to say double honors to the apostles and the elders, great millstone that rule well. Blessings to the hopeful elect out there listening and learning, teaching this word in all sincerity and truth. In the hopes that we may edify and feed the lambs of Yahweh Shai, especially in these last days. And they're calling them ghost criminals. Dealing with the, quote unquote, illegal immigrants that are coming into the States. They ain't got no paperwork, no social media. You can't track and trace them. You can't hunt them down. So you know what's next. They're calling them ghost criminals because guess what? They want to unghost them. They want to make them visible. And the only way to do that, and the people are going to be begging for it because the elites are ready to beat these civilized people, to their knees, to the point where they accept that chip because it's going to come in the name of peace, or in the form of peace, should I say. If you want peace and safety, then the only way to stop these ghost criminals at large is to pretty much make them identifiable, because they don't have social media pages. They don't have mugshots. They don't have track history or track records or criminal records or anything like that. It's a clean slate for them. And a lot of them, they're saying that they entered the Venezuelan gangs. A lot of these guys are straight up criminals that are flooding the States. And they're causing havoc over there in Babylon the Great. And we know why this is happening. We know why criminals have been emptied out into the States. Because they want, the elites, they actually want to collapse these cities now. They want to, they pretty much through the order of chaos, they want to, create chaotic situations to the point where, order needs to be reestablished. Burn it all down like the phoenix from the ashes, basically. Where you got the mythical bird that gets created from being burnt, and then from the ashes it rises again. And that's exactly what Esau is planning to do with his NWO. All right, and he wants to control the people, right, in the name or in the vibration of his so-called form or version of peace. Well, the scripture says when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them. See, we're heading into the time of Jacob's trouble, which I did a lesson on this yesterday. And all of this is done by design. If your eyes are open and you're privy to the plans of the wicked, and when I say the wicked, I'm talking about the biblical Edomites, then you understand clearly that this is all being done by design, and that they're orchestrating this chaos behind the scenes. All right, it's called ordo ab chaos, man. All right, order through chaos, and that's how they want to establish this. So all these people out here that thought things are gonna just be peachy key and everything was gonna be nice and normality, well, we seen, during the pandemic, we saw how chaotic things can get. We saw the draconian measures that were pushed off the back of that major crisis. Then now this new major crisis, now you got other pestilences popping up, but at the same time, you got multiple, crises popping up all over the place. And this is another one of them, ghost criminals. All right, where people are able to pretty much commit crimes and not be identified. That's exactly what Esau wants. All right, and he's going to come forth with that solution in order to allow them to be identified, which is going to be in the form of the chip, which is the mark of the beast. Now, for all you people out there that don't believe that we're, saying the right thing, all the people that want to scoff and scorn, you think that we're just making this up. Well, let's see when Esau pushes out the mark of the beast, when he actually starts chipping people out here. Let's see where you're going to be. Let's see where your head's going to be at, and let's see what you do. Because I guarantee you, all the unbelievers, they're going to be in that line. When they set up these chipping stations, you're going to be waiting to get chipped, just like the rest of them. All right. And there's a judgment that's coming to Babylon the Great, the likes of which no one has ever seen since it was a nation. And it's going to come by way of fire, thermonuclear destruction. And that's what awaits everyone in that land that took that chip, which is the mark of the beast, which is going to cause radiation, by the way, underneath your skin. The scriptures speak about that noisome and grievous sore in Revelation 16. So how can the MOTB be sin, or whatever the IUIC is saying, when it's going to cause a noisome and grievous sore, which when you go into that word grievous sore in the Greek is helkos, which means a discharge or a pus. So you mean to tell me that, you committing sin, like let's say for example you eat a piece of you eat some lobster, then all of a sudden you have a discharge or a pus, or I don't know, you start worshiping the gods of the other nations, then you start getting a discharge or a pus. I'm just, idol worshipping. Like, I'm just naming a couple of sins, not following a dietary law, and all right, or you pick up sticks on a Sabbath, or you have sex on a Sabbath, you get a discharge or a pus. No, that's talking about the actual physical mark, the charagma, which what's going to be coming out of that, that wound, because that's what it's going to be. It's going to be a wound that you're going to have to receive in order to receive that chip. They're going to pierce your flesh, which the scriptures tell you that you should have no cuttings in the flesh. All right, they're going to pierce your flesh with that chip, and the delivery system, the crux, is going to be used to put that chip underneath your skin, in order to track and trace you. And these people are going to be begging for it once they see, how chaotic things are, because they see ultimately if they're calling ghost criminals, if they're being called ghost criminals, and there's even clips where they're not even allowed to, these cops are not even allowed to call ICE, the immigration system, to come and arrest these criminals that are doing these acts. They're raping women, they're murdering, they're beating up police, they're shooting guns, they're thieves, they're criminals. All right, and that's all by design, man. That's why the scripture says about being circumspect and wise and not as fools, redeeming the time, because the days are evil. So we have to be very circumspect how we move out here. So let's go into that clip, all right? Because there was this is from Redacted, by the way, with Natalie and Clayton Morris, and they played you a clip of and it's right here.
So you've been allowed a person who went to prison, he committed crime in America, who's illegal right now, you're gonna let him go free right now. Because he's elevator.
Exactly what I'm saying. Because we're a sanctuary city. I've arrested a double homicide suspect.
So you got these cities called sanctuary cities where these immigrants are pretty much allowed to commit crimes, and because they're sanctuary cities, the immigration, the cops they're being given orders not to call the immigration services, so they can commit crimes openly. So it's basically pretty much turning into the purge, man. All right, which is what we've been saying. The scripture says that one man shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. Civil war, man. All right, all out chaos, civil war. One group of people, factions being formed, gangs. One people standing up to fight against another and swords in their hands. Yeah. Look what it says. I've arrested a double homicide suspect in this city before and let him walk out the door. Double homicide suspects, ghost criminals, double homicide suspects, murderers, rapists. In these sanctuary cities, they're pretty much, it's a free-for-all. They can do what they want. So if you're in one of them sanctuary cities and you actually live there, you pay rent there, or you bought a home there, you're going to have to put up with this, man, because this is what it is. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, but we are not ignorant of his devices. We got to know what's going on, man. All right, and all the pride, this Western pride and people in these cities that, they're all going to be put, I'm going to say they're going to be put in that fight or flight condition permanently. Get ready for your adrenaline to start, being taken to new levels. Your adrenaline, your fight and flight systems being taken to new levels, because it's going to be hard to catch a wink of sleep in the times that are coming, because you're going to be afraid for your life. You're going to want to guard whatever food you have. You're going to want to protect, vulnerabilities. You might have a daughter, you might have a wife, you might have children. You might have food, all right? And you want to protect what you have from these invaders that are going to be wanting to take what you have because they don't have, All right, and this is what we're coming to. So let's play you a little bit more of this, and I hope I don't get like a copyright or.
Because we're gonna sanctuary city. We're not gonna call Isaac to come pick up and report.
He came to pick up 320 times.
So he can stay here and continue the murdering, basically.
This is their license to murder, sanctuary cities and ghost criminals, man. All right, so this is the stuff that, you know, America, they're getting ready to just let it burn. You know, America's getting ready to just, while these elites hide in their bunkers and they go to their retreats, and just like they show you in that movie Kingsman, with the one with Samuel Jackson. All right, and when they turned on that switch for the people that were on the surface, because they were all partying in bunkers, but when they turned on the switch, the people on the surface in these cities, they were putting each other to death, while the elites, they were hiding under them bunkers. Again, predictive programming. All right, it's all in there. Remember, the scripture says that the devil has come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he has but a short time. So that's the time that we're in. Esau's about to come down with that great wrath, man. Okay, because he knows that his time is short. Because he wants to establish that new world order. So they're ready, they're primed and ready to do this. That's why they keep putting, you know, Elon Musk at the helm of this implant transhumanism agenda. All right, but then they're making it like they're making it out like he's a rebel and he took over Twitter. Now been changed to X, which that X is a Hebrew character, which is the final Hebrew character in the alphabet, the Tha. All right, which shows that we're at the end. There's nothing, you know, how can I say? There's no such thing as a coincidence. You know, the Lord is showing us that we're at the end here. So they got Elon Musk at the helm of this whole freedom of speech type of thing. You know, allowing society's so-called rebels to speak their mind and use his platform and tweet and retweet and do it, you know, pretty much. You know, he's like a so-called voice for the people now. But conveniently, he's the one that's pushing these implants and transhumanism. See, it's you know, it's all bullshit. It's all set up, man. So with these ghost criminals and these sanctuary cities, you know, this is just the beginning, all right? Now, in this video, they said that the whole Hell's Angels thing, they said that was fake news. Now, could it be plausible deniability? We don't know. About the Hell's Angels riding to Colorado, Aurora and that and whatever. But they're saying that these crimes, you know, these Venezuelan criminals, these gangs, they ain't just doing it in one place. It's actually spreading. They're actually taking over, like, complexes. All right, and they're making people pay the rent to them instead of the landlords and stuff. So there's stuff going on in Babylon the Great, which Babylon goes back to the Hebrew word Babel, which means confusion. All right, so we're definitely living in the end times, man. You know, get ready to see more protests, get ready to see more riots, get ready to see more violence. The scripture says, because of iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. Right? And we're definitely seeing people become colder and colder. The demons that are on these people, there's a lot more breaking news going out. They just had a shooting, right, at some school. That was breaking news. It just, you know, over there in the States. There's a lot of stuff going on. Okay. In fact, let me see if I can pull this article up. Okay, breaking news, shooting in America. All right, let's see what pops up here. Yeah, the Appalachian High School joins a long list of deadly school sites. Put up 2 hours ago. CBS News 21 hours ago. Shooting at NYC's West Indian Day Parade in Brooklyn leaves 1 dead and 4 hurt. So there's a lot of violence going out. And who do you think? Remember, the scripture says, I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. That's Isaiah 40, 45 and 7. So it's the Lord, it's the King of Terrors that's behind all of this. The Lord is actually unleashing these vengeful, you know, these spirits created for vengeance. And we're in a time now where they're pouring out their force and they're appeasing the wrath of him that made them. They're appeasing the wrath of the Lord. The Lord has given them, you know, these spirits that are pouring out their force. He's given them the green light to be able to do so. And that's why we fear and serve Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, man, because, you know, things are going to get bad out here. We're going to need every ounce of divine intervention and protection from Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. All right, and that's what we sincerely believe. So all you naysayers and unbelievers, you know, that don't have faith mixed with the word. You're going to have to eat every single word that comes out your mouth when all hell breaks loose. And, you know, it's plain to see that, you know, then you're going to know that a prophet have been among you. Remember the scripture says in their affliction, they will seek me early. So when you're in a time of your affliction, because right now you're just seeing it on the news, you say like, well, that ain't happened to me yet. Or that's far away from me. That's miles away. People are still able to sit around their dinner tables, get the cutlery out and talk about how school was with their children. Talk about how work was with their loved ones. Look into their eyes over a glass of wine. Swirl it around. I like that wine. We should try that bottle next time. You know, and, you know, I'm just giving you scenarios, painting you you know, images in your mind of how people actually live. You know, they go to these dead-end jobs and their women's committing adultery at work and acting like nothing's happened and that, you know, all kinds of stuff. You know, they're being ever so distant with their husbands, and everyone's just living lies out here, man. And all these, you know, this chaotic westernized lifestyle is all about to be pulled down, man. All right, because when Yahweh Shai comes back, that's when people are going to have to actually consider there's a higher power. That's when people's eyes are going to pop out of their fucking skulls and they're going to realize, damn, we've been fucking up. All right, this God ain't playing. That's why the scripture says men's hearts shall fail them for fear. You know? In Matthew chapter 24, it goes into the day of the Lord. Men shall, you know, they shall be eating and drinking, as in the days of Noah were, so shall the coming of the Son of Man be. Whereas in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, and knew not until the flood came and took them all away. So just like in the time of Noah, you know, people are going to be partying and bullshitting, just like they show you in The Purge. And Jake be partying, or even the beginning scene of one of the beginning scenes of Cloverfield. You know, when all hell broke loose and you had the big ass monsters, which you pretty much like a Leviathan, just trashing these cities. You know, and what was Jake doing? They were just partying on rooftops. Jake was just partying, man. You know, or people were partying in general. So this is what I'm saying, that peace and safety spirit, when you think you're secure, that's when the day of the Lord is going to come and hit you like a thief in the night. You ain't going to expect it, man. Ghost criminals and sanctuary cities. This is where we're at now. This is normality. And remember, this is all by design. They want to chip people. All right, so if you want normality back, if you want safety back, quote unquote, if you want people to be able to be identified, you don't want ghost criminals anymore, but you want identifiable criminals. You want to know where they are. You want complete control over these loot jobs that are causing havoc in your cities. Then guess what? You're going to be down with them getting chipped. And then guess what? You're going to have to be chipped as well. We don't know who's who. We don't know what's what. You know? So that's why the confusion is all here. You know? All these immigrants. Now you don't know who's who. You don't know what's what. You don't know who to trust. You know? You don't know who's standing in front of you or behind you in the, you know, in the queue when you're going to pay for your groceries. Anyone's a criminal now. All right? So they got people, you know, pretty much on the edge. And like the Joker said in The Dark Knight, he said these civilized people, when the chips are down, they'll eat each other. So the chips are way down now. All right. So with that, man, I just wanted to, you know, quick news update with this redacted, you know, hey, subscribe to this. You know, they put out some good videos on current events and that, you know, mainstream headline news and stuff. So, and, you know, it's good to speak on it from time to time as well. And to keep our, you know, pretty much our eyes open to what's really going on out there. Because ultimately the elect, you know, we have our spiritual eye open. We can see why these things are happening. Whereas people are talking about doomsday prepping. People are talking about getting guns. People are talking about banding together and stuff. And we're just talking about worshiping Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai and enduring all of this until the end so that we may be saved. All right. That's the spiritual way. And there's no other way. Okay. No man cometh to the Father but by Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai is the way. So that's it. Shalom to the elect.